Okay, let's review quickly for Chapter 3 test. Um, let's start with the West African empires. That makes it real simple just to get them going. Ghana, Mali, Songhai. Remember GMS, Grand Middle School, Ghana, Mali, Songhai. From 300 to 1600 is when they all existed. Ghana got started at 300, and then Songhai fell in 1600. They were located in the western region of Africa, south of the Sahara Desert, near the Niger River. So we could see that right here. Ghana, Mali, and Songhai, they kept eating each other, just consuming each other. And this is the Niger River, and it's just south of the Sahara Desert. We'll also notice that Portugal is the one that makes contact with them. There, Portugal is, I'll get a better map here. You can see Portugal is on the side of Spain. So Portugal carried goods from Western Europe, trading metals, cloth, and other manufactured goods for gold, and we'll add in there salt. Okay, but to get the West African gold, they sent metals, cloth, and other manufactured goods. Okay, so that takes care of West Africa. Then let's uh, let's remember the motivations for exploration: economic, find gold and natural resources; trade; and then religious, to spread Christianity; and competition. They wanted to make their empire bigger, and they believed that their culture was superior to everybody else's. It was better than everybody else's. We can also remember that's gold, God, and glory. Okay. And then obstacles: poor maps and navigational tools. And we can pair these up. So, they kind of out of order. So if you have poor maps and navigational tools, you don't know where you're going, so you're going to fear the unknown. And then if we lack the adequate supplies, we're going to starve and get diseases. We won't have enough medicine or food. So that leads to disease and starvation. So if you can remember, pair them up in that way, I think it's easier to remember. Then the results of exploration: they exchanged goods and ideas. This is the whole point of the economic. They wanted to open up trade routes, improve navigational tools and ships. That's just a natural byproduct of trying to sail around the world. You need good tools and you have to know where you're going. And then when they got there, they claimed new territories, so they're able to make their empires bigger. Interactions between American Indians and Europeans sometimes led to cooperation and other times resulted in conflict. So areas of cooperation: the Europeans brought weapons and metal, farm tools. This was things that the Indians wanted. They opened up trade, especially the French. They were really good about trading with the Indians, and exchanged crops. So goods that did not exist in Europe um, were brought to Europe and vice versa. One great example is horses right here. No horses in America. The Europeans brought them over. Areas of conflict: we got land. Obviously, when the Europeans are claiming territories and the Indians are living on those territories, that could be a problem. Um, Competition for trade: when let's say the French are trading with the Indians for beaver pelts and the English want that, that's going to be a problem. Differences in cultures: so there are easy misunderstandings when you do things differently. One group may do something that offends the other group, so that is a real problem. Diseases: if you're giving people diseases and they're dying, they're not going to like you. Language differences: that's an easy one. If you can't understand what they're talking about, and then of course couple that with the difference in cultures, it's easy to misunderstand and misinterpret what the other side is doing. All right, let me just pause it right here so that you can pause it and take a look at this part. And then I'll pause it here so you can take a look. You can pause it here to look at this part. And now we'll go to cultural interactions. Spanish. They are known as the conquistadors. They conquered and enslaved American Indians. Remember, conquistadors right here, conquered. That's what it means. They brought Christianity to the New World. They were very religious. They wanted everybody to be Christian. They established missions to help them do that. Remember, missions are buildings that are like combination schools and churches, and spread European diseases to American Indians. They brought over the European diseases and they killed a tremendous amount of American Indians. The French were known as the traders, so obviously they're going to establish trading posts, and they were also interested in spreading the Christian religion just like the Spanish. The English were known as the settlers, so they were settling, and this is where a big conflict came in with the American Indians. They're claiming land and settling on it, and the American Indians, were using that land, so there's going to be a bumping of heads there. However, to survive, they learned new farming techniques from the American Indians, and they traded with the American Indians. So it wasn't all bad by claiming land. If you didn't claim their land, their Indians were very happy to trade and help them out, and maybe even ally with them against their enemies. Because remember, all Indians are not the same. There's many, many tribes. Getting to the American Indians, they taught farming techniques to European settlers, helped them settle and survive in the New World. And this is very important. They believed that land was to be used and shared, but not owned. This would become a big problem because the Europeans are going to start walling off their land using fences, and when they set up a farm, the Indians were not welcome to come and start taking their food. It was considered stealing. So it caused a big conflict there. Finally, let's take a look at the explorers. We got the Spanish explorer Francisco Coronado. He explored the American Southwest. So we're talking Arizona, New Mexico, parts of Colorado, Utah, Nevada, Texas. So he went through here looking for the cities of gold. Then we have the French explorers Samuel de Champlain and Robert La Salle. Samuel de Champlain is up here on the St. Lawrence River, and he establishes the settlement of Quebec. So he's known in this area. And then the other area, Robert La Salle, he claims the Mississippi River Valley. And we could probably remember that. It looks like Sally, right? Even though it's Robert La Salle. You could say Robert La Salle, Mississippi River Valley. Yeah, that's how I remember it. And then we got John Cabot for England, and he explored eastern Canada. So we're talking Newfoundland and this part right over here of Canada. He was actually Italian, but he sailed for the English. So let me go back up here on the cultural interactions and pause it so that you can look at it and read it over and study. And then I'm going to go back over. All right, there we go. So we have these right here. So study it. Good luck.